A homeless woman named Maya helps a crying boy without knowing that his wealthy father is watching. His life changes forever. Blood ran down the boy's knee as his sobs echoed on the empty sidewalk. No one stopped. No one looked. To the hurried passers-by in New York, a crying child was just another noise in the chaotic symphony of the city. But for Maya, even with hunger gnawing at her stomach for 2 days, that cry pierced through all her defenses. "Hey, little one, let me see that!" Maya approached the boy, ignoring the suspicious glances of pedestrians. Her dark, calloused fingers contrasted with the boy's pale skin as she gently examined the bruise. With precise movements, she took a surprisingly clean handkerchief from her pocket, her only possession besides the clothes she wore, and pressed it against the wound. A few feet away, Ethan Thompson watched the scene motionless, his hand instinctively clenching the $5,000 Italian leather briefcase. His son had run ahead, tripped, and now a homeless woman was touching him. His first impulse was to intervene, but something stopped him. Perhaps it was the delicacy of Maya's movements or the way his son had stopped crying almost instantly. "What happened, champ?" Maya asked, tying the boy's loose shoelace. "Looks like you were in a hurry." "I just wanted to see the birds," he replied, pointing to the pigeons fighting over crumbs. "My name is Lucas." Maya smiled, revealing a surprisingly perfect smile for someone who slept in crowded shelters when she was lucky or under overpasses when she wasn't. "Nice to meet you, Lucas." "I'm Maya." A few feet away, Ethan stood frozen. Normally, his security guards would have removed any undesirable person who approached his son. But today, he had dismissed the team to have a rare moment alone with Lucas after 3 months of traveling across 5 continents closing deals. "There you go," said Maya, finishing cleaning his knee. "It's nothing serious. Just be more careful, okay? Those sneakers are too nice to get scratched." That's when Lucas innocently asked, "Why are you so dirty?" The silence that followed was heavy as lead. Ethan felt his face burn with shame, ready to intervene, but Maya's response surprised him. "Because not everyone is as lucky in life, little one," she spoke without self-pity, just stating a fact. "Sometimes we lose our home, our job, our family, but we never lose our humanity. Remember that." Those words hit Ethan like a punch. Just 32 days ago, during a board meeting, he had said that people on the streets chose to be there and that giving handouts only perpetuates the problem. Now he was watching a woman who clearly had nothing share her only clean possession with a stranger. Maya stood up quickly, wiping her face to hide a stubborn tear. Her stomach growled loud enough for Lucas to hear, reminding her that she had traded her last meal from the shelter for that clean handkerchief after hearing that an infection had spread among the homeless in the area. "Dad." Lucas finally spotted Ethan and ran toward him. "Look, that lady helped me." Ethan stepped forward, awkward in his normally confident stance. Maya was already backing away quickly as if she knew the usual reaction to her presence. "Wait," Ethan called, but she had already disappeared into the crowd. "She was hungry, Dad. I heard her stomach growling." That night, as rain pounded the streets of Manhattan, Maya huddled under the small awning of a service entrance, dreaming of what her life could have been if that job interview 3 years ago hadn't ended with a human resources director saying that her profile didn't fit the company's image, the same director who coincidentally now appeared on billboards as the new VP of Diversity at Thompson Enterprises. What she didn't know was that at that very moment, Ethan Thompson was using all his power and resources to find her, driven by something he hadn't felt in years: shame for who he had become and determination to change it. If this story of kindness and indifference touched your heart, be sure to sign up to find out how a simple act of humanity would spark a revolution that no one, not even the most powerful man in New York, could have predicted. 3 days passed as Maya faced a new blow. The shelter where she occasionally got a bed had been closed for emergency renovations, a common euphemism when authorities wanted to remove homeless people from high-value areas before important events. "You have 20 minutes to get your belongings," announced a police officer with feigned indifference. "But where are we supposed to go?" asked an elderly woman standing next to Maya. "That's not my problem," he replied, checking his watch. "The nearest shelter is 10 kilometers away." Maya gathered her meager possessions, a backpack with 2 changes of clothes, a worn toothbrush, a tattered diary, and a cheap makeup kit she used for job interviews that never led to work. That's when Marcus, a social worker who frequented the shelter, tapped her on the shoulder. "Maya, the Fresh Start Foundation is hiring people with experience living on the streets for a new program. It pays." He handed her a card with an address on it. "Why me?" she asked skeptically. "Because you have something that can't be taught, dignity under pressure," he replied. "Besides, I saw your resume when you applied for the housing program. Bachelor's degree in business, 3 years of HR experience before all this." The next morning, soaked by persistent rain, Maya showed up at the address she had been given. The receptionist didn't even look up when she entered, dripping onto the freshly waxed floor. "Can I help you?" she asked coldly. "I'm here about the job with the Restart Foundation. Marcus Williams referred me." The receptionist's expression instantly changed to contempt. "Are you sure you're in the right place?" A female voice interjected. "She's exactly where she should be." Vanessa Amara-Chun, the Foundation's executive director, appeared with a confident posture and an impeccable blazer, extending her hand without hesitation. In her simple office, without the ostentation typical of NGOs that spent more on appearances than on results, Amara explained, "Our mission is more than just getting people off the streets. It's to expose the system that puts them there in the first place." The conversation was interrupted by Marcus's arrival with a thick folder. "I was finishing up my research on Thompson Enterprises." The name struck Maya like a bolt of lightning. "Thompson. Ethan Thompson," Amara confirmed. "Billionaire self-proclaimed philanthropist and ironically one of the biggest investors in urban revitalization projects that drive vulnerable communities out of their homes. Our next campaign will focus on the inconsistencies between his public image and his corporate policies." Fate had a peculiar sense of humor. The father of the boy she had helped days ago. "Why are you telling me this?" Maya asked. "Because we need someone who knows the reality of the streets but also understands the corporate world. Someone who can expose the hypocrisy." What Maya didn't reveal was her brief encounter with Ethan's son. Something told her to keep that information to herself. In the weeks that followed, as she collected testimonials from people displaced by Thompson Enterprises projects, Maya noticed something strange. The same black car often appeared wherever she went. More than once, she felt like she was being watched. In his luxurious apartment, Ethan examined reports on the Foundation, discovering with growing discomfort that his corporate policies were directly on the organization's radar. Lucas, playing in the next room, kept asking about the lady with the scarf. "Did you find her, Daddy?" "Not yet, champ, but I'm getting close." During her research, Maya found a familiar name in the records. James Peterson, current Director of Diversity and Inclusion at Thompson Enterprises. The same man who 3 years earlier had rejected her application with the excuse that she didn't fit the corporate culture. The same man who, according to current employees, systematically vetoed minority candidates for leadership positions while building a facade of inclusivity. Her tattered journal wasn't just a venting ground. It was a meticulous record of a broken system seen through the eyes of someone who had experienced it in its rawest form. Names, dates, subtly coded discriminatory comments she had received in dozens of job interviews. And now, with the Foundation's resources, these observations were beginning to take shape as concrete evidence. What no one realized, as Maya and Ethan's paths inevitably converged, was how a simple worn backpack carried the seeds that could bring down an empire. While he searched for her, driven by a belated conscience, she quietly compiled the dossier that would expose the fundamental contradictions of a system he had helped build. Sometimes, the most dangerous people aren't those with power. They're those with nothing left to lose.